So how are they getting from the environment into our blood? And it's the same thing. You've got to be concluding it's coming from the sky. And we see the planes, and they're spraying every day, and that stuff is filtering down. They have saturated our lower atmosphere with these materials, which are from three classes: polymers and biologicals. We are seeing, this is an aside. You should do a show on this with, actually, Rosalind Peterson is the one who talks about tree decline. There are all kinds of species of flora and fauna are handicapped, compromised today. We're seeing molds. You talked about your sprouts getting moldy. Well, there's mold, fungus killing so many trees everywhere, all through California, many other states, Arizona, East Coast. It's ubiquitous, this mold. So is that coming from the spraying as well? And then we have the metals that are ionizing the air and making that conductive. So we're absorbing the metals. We're conductive. The polymers are setting up shop in us through energy that we're housing as well and providing them. The conductivity is, we live in a charged world now. This is not the world of 100, 200 years ago. Our very biology is having to adapt to chemicals, exponentially increased hazardous chemicals. And they blame this on pollution.
And I want to ask the question also, does this also coincide with all the electronic frequencies that we're using, like broadband and that kind of thing? Does the electrical grid work into this? We'll be right back. 1 minute, 10-second break. We'll be back with Sophia Smallstorm. Stay tuned to the Power Hour. This is Joyce and Dave. We're ionized. We're energized. Does this have anything to do with our relationship to the electrical grid, broadband, Wi-Fi, anything like that?
Surrounded by all this current, you could call it, these frequencies, these waves and microwaves. And not only are they bad for us systemically, but we're living in a very different environment than we were 100 years ago. So I want to say that with the frontiers being, blasted in technology, they can now engineer microbes, they can engineer tissues, they can engineer all kinds of stuff. They're doing gene splicing, they're doing cloning. But what can they do to us? That's all about making new things. But let's say the mad scientists that I spoke of earlier in the show wanted to get us under control. Something has to be engineered within us so that our control is given over to it. And this, I watched a film, which is on my website on the population control page, abouttthesky.com, population control. It's a 1-hour movie made by a guy called Aaron Franz called The Age of Transition. And it really is about transhumanism. Transhumanism is the new word for eugenics. Now, we remember eugenics. A lot of the aristocracy, the global elite have been very fond of eugenics. Eugenics is a selection. It's the science of selecting qualities from humans, breeding humans that are enhanced humans. They, at one point, wanted only the aristocracy to breed because they were superior to the, workers. So the new word for eugenics is transhumanism. It's the same thing.
Okay, we need to talk about transhumanism when we get back from this break. We got
Morgellons is everywhere. We all have it. Certain people's bodies are pushing the fibers out. The naturopath Gwen Scott, who lives in New Mexico and works with Clifford Carnicom,
right?
He is very well versed on this, and she says that your body is actually doing something healthy when it's pushing those fibers out. Certain people's bodies are extruding, expelling, pushing out the fibers. It's the body saying, get out, I don't want this in me. But every one of us has it. So rather than characterize this as spooky and gross and abnormal, I want people to look upon this as the new normal, the new baseline that is showing up in everybody. Our dogs and cats have it. Our babies have it. It's in everything. The polymer fibers.
I had a little kitten, or it was a teenage cat, and on its chin had the same thing. And so I pulled a sample off that. Sure enough, it was the same thing.
Ed, have you found anything that makes it better or worse?
So I'm making a real high-grade colloidal silver, and I've noticed that that is about the only thing that helps. I've tried, like ciprofloxacin, antibiotics and all that, and just to no avail, And, my doctor has prescribed, things like that, but it's just, it's basically, it's totally, what we're dealing with here is totally out of the league. It's something totally new.
Okay, thank you.
And I have ejected fibers, and I've got samples of red ones, blue ones, and all that, but basically I don't have the fiber ejection to the degree that a lot of people do. It's just manifesting itself in sores that just won't heal, and when they do try to heal, I can feel them electronically communicating with a different site, mostly on my arms.
Oh, my gosh, this is so eerie.
I'd like to just mention something. There was a product advertised on your show earlier, Miracle 2, and Gwen Scott is a big advocate of Miracle 2 for Morgellons.
Oh, really?
Yes, so try that, Ed. See if that Miracle 2 soap, I think you can get it from the Power Hour.
Yeah, call the Power Hour, Ed, and I'll send you some.
You guys carry that?
Yeah, call the Power Hour. I will send you some at no charge. Call Rosie at the Power Hour, 877.
Oh, bless your heart.
877-817-9829. I'm going to send you out a gallon of it because I want you to be able to try it. And we'll just call the Power Hour and we will get it to you then. And I want to hear back from you if it works or not, because I know there's something unbelievable about Miracle 2 soap. Let me let you go, Ed, and we'll stay with you. Hopefully we'll see if it improves or clears up or gets worse or whatever. But